Begin with a developing story to tell you about out of South Carolina. 2 people have been injured in a shooting at a mall in Greenville. Police have confirmed that multiple suspects have been detained after a dispute in the mall turned violent. This is a developing story and we'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Well, WSAV is your local election headquarters. Election day is this Tuesday in Georgia's primary runoff elections, and there are some major races on the ballot. On the Republican ballot, the race for governor is in a runoff this Tuesday. Republican voters will choose between businessman Rick Jackson and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones to be their party's nominee. The winner will face Democrat Keisha Lance Bottoms in November. Also on the Republican ballot, the GOP nomination for Senate, voters will choose between Congressman Mike Collins and football coach Derek Dooley. The winner will face incumbent Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff in November. And on the Democratic ballot, the race for that party's nomination for Georgia's 1st congressional district, voters on Tuesday will choose between Amanda Hollowell and Joyce Griggs. The winner will face Jim Kingston in the midterm election this fall. Well, we told you yesterday about a prominent Senate Republican endorsing Rick Jackson to be Georgia's next governor. Now that senator has made an endorsement for South Carolina's governor. Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz has endorsed Attorney General Alan Wilson to be the Palmetto State's next governor. In a statement, Cruz said, quote, "Alan is a proven conservative fighter who has spent years defending the Constitution. He has the courage, conviction, and leadership South Carolina needs, and I am confident he will be an outstanding governor," end quote. Today, Wilson also secured the endorsement of Low Country State Senator Tom Davis. The Attorney General is set to compete in a runoff election against Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette to determine who will face Democratic nominee Jermaine Johnson in November. Runoff election day in South Carolina is June 23rd. And for more information about elections in both Georgia and South Carolina, head to WSAV.com/electionHQ. We're going to take a live look outside now over Savannah's beautiful River Street. I hope you found a way to stay cool today as it was very hot outside. We're going to check in with Storm Team 3 meteorologist Hannah Evans for a look at the forecast. Hey, Hannah.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, definitely was a hot and humid one out there today, but we're seeing a little bit of relief now because some storms are beginning to pop up. So we see here temperatures for areas that haven't seen storms still in the upper 90s, still 97 degrees in Statesboro and Rincon. But if we look at other areas like Jessup, Darien, 81 degrees in Jessup, 78 degrees in Darien, that is because some storms are developing and moving through and they are cooling things down. But once again, still pretty humid, and with the humidity, we're looking at heat index values today that were up to 110. Even some areas were over 110. But we're already still feeling like now 104 degrees in Statesboro and in Rincon. But like I said, we are seeing some storms popping up. Here's our Viper radar. They are mainly along 16 and south, and they are moving from west to east. So if you do see a thunderstorm, you will be lucky if it moves through your neighborhood. It will help cool things down. That's just because we are in our typical summertime setup. We do have a solid front to the north. We're seeing extra moisture below it, so we cannot rule out a storm for the rest of the evening, but it's still going to be pretty hot and humid out there with temperatures ranging in the 90s over the next few hours. Lows tonight only in the upper 70s, so a pretty warm and muggy start tomorrow with highs once again in the upper 90s. So I will talk a little bit more about that heat and humidity continuing tomorrow in just a few minutes. Sarah.
Hannah, thank you. And with the hot weather across our area, the city of Savannah is working to make sure people are able to beat the heat. While cooling centers closed at 5 o'clock today, the city's splash pads are open until 8 tonight. Those splash pads can be found across the city, including Forsyth Park, Ellis Square, and Savannah Gardens, as well as community centers on Lothrop Avenue, Ogeechee Road, and Coleman Street. Well, Juneteenth celebrations are already commencing here in Savannah to honor the resilience of African Americans freed from slavery, many of them not finding out about their freedom until years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. 2 museums shared in those celebrations today. WSAV's Jillian Coles was there and joins us now in studio.
While it's celebrated every June 19th, the Telfair Museum and the Savannah African Art Museum invited the community to take time today to reflect. Juneteenth, a turning point in American history and a celebration of freedom.
Pull the extra off. When you had kids, you will do one of these around the wrist, the neck, the waist, and then the angle. It just shows you if the kid is growing faster or slower.
Rosu Banaga, owner of Naisumitu African Jewelry, was one of the local artists who shared their work and their story at the Savannah African Art Museum. The crafting techniques are from her childhood in Kenya.
Balls are really tiny. It takes a minute to see where you are putting the string.
And at the Telfair Museum, an exhibition celebrated historic Gullah Geechee artistry.
So Roots in the Rushes, African American basketry of the Low Country, highlights one of the longest traditions of quilled basketry in our Low Country region. These baskets were really sewn for plantation use on our barrier islands, kind of help with the work. They're very durable, very sturdy, so it's really helpful to do that heavy repeated use.
And while celebrations throughout the city varied, all shared a mission of honoring those who were freed.
The last enslaved individuals in Galveston, Texas were not freed until 2 years after emancipation. So it's really to commemorate their honor, or their legacy, and honor them, really.
Iba, Ori, Aperi, our higher self.
Juneteenth, first and foremost, is a celebration of freedom.
Savannah African Art Museum Director Alyssa Faye Evan Newsom says their focus this holiday was promoting togetherness.
With this art, we allow people to come in and step back and find out what their culture was and see some of the art from their culture and the stories and history.
Now, events will continue throughout our area leading up to the 19th this Friday. For a list of celebrations, visit WSAV.com/Juneteenth. Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3 on your side.
I'm curious. I want to know what's on your mind. I'm curious.
And the place where freedom started held a celebration of their own to honor Juneteenth today. Beautiful music rang out all afternoon at historic Mitchellville Freedom Park on Hilton Head Island. Hundreds came out for the annual Juneteenth celebration. There were a variety of vendors, lots of food, arts and crafts, and a variety of ways to learn about this historic property. Officials say it's a great way to honor the holiday and get people out to the park to find out more about Mitchellville and its place in American history, all in one. Well, Savannah's Asbury Memorial Church will take its Sunday sermon to new heights, literally. Their pastor is heading to New York City, and the congregation will be watching live from home. Tomorrow, Pastor Billy Hester will deliver his sermon live from New York City, streamed directly onto screens back here inside the Savannah Sanctuary. Hester was invited back to Marble Collegiate Church, one of the nation's oldest Protestant congregations, as part of the 45th anniversary celebration of its Arts Fellowship. Before moving to Savannah, Hester served as at Marble as an actor, artist, and associate minister. Hester says the message will honor both congregations and highlight the creative roots that connect them. He credits Marble with shaping many of the ideas and ministries now central to Asbury Memorial. The sermon will stream live during Asbury Memorial's 11 a.m. service tomorrow morning.